Hey, it's your girl Pika calling in from Singapore. So I just wanted to touch base again, like I always do. And tonight, let's talk about juggling. So I was looking back over my day, trying to think about, what was the underlying theme today? What did I accomplish? What do I want to talk about? Like, it's not like these things kind of just jump into my head and I know exactly what to do. It takes me a little bit, I really have to think. I need to go back through what happened, the day's events. So that's why I normally, through any of these podcasts, I go ahead and recap my day for you so you know exactly what it is that I had to go through. Well, not exactly. I didn't give you exactly how many bathroom breaks or what time I had lunch, but I give you the general gist of, what my day was like. So you have an idea of the things that I'm involved in, the things that take up my energy. And today was strange. I will put it that way. Just coming out the weekend, it is Monday night here, and as you all know, I got some big news on Friday, and that means this coming Friday will be the last day at my job. So when you already know the end is near, it's almost like being in sitting duck mode, I guess is what you could call it, the closest thing to it. So you know how when the president, is finishing up his term, basically, the next president has already been elected. He hasn't actually come into office and taken over yet, but you still are the president. So you kind of sit around and, I don't know, you sit around and try and get some stuff done before you have to leave office. So that's kind of how I felt today. Walked into the office today and tried to sort out the mess on my desk, first of all, and then I went and talked to my operations person and was like, look, okay, obviously I'm not working on any projects anymore, I'm slowly handing everything over, what can I help you with? So I started doing operational stuff instead to kind of make sure that when I leave, I'm not leaving anyone basically drowning because they have my work to do as well. So my stuff is done, it's taken care of for the most part. They won't have to really pick up and do anything new until end of September. So that buys them a little bit of time to maybe hire somebody else or whatnot. But in the meantime, I had a strange day at work. So I was working on projects for the operations person, finishing up progress reports, trying to make sure that everything is uniform, all the little, busy work, which actually, I'm glad I had busy work today. I think I would have fallen asleep otherwise. The meantime, everyone knows that I am looking to publish my blog tomorrow. And I'm freaking out because at this current point in time, there's a half an hour left until August 1st, and I have nothing. I've got nothing. I sincerely have nothing. I'm not sure how I want to start it. I'm trying to think of, what it is I want to write about. And I say a lot already on my podcast, and I love that I get to talk to you guys. I love to write, but I feel better about having a conversation. I'm not sure what the conversation would be like when it comes to the blog. Now, on my website, I've already created, a space for it. It's ready to go. I want the blog to kind of be like a case study, because obviously if you listen to the podcast, unless you're taking notes, you'd have to listen to it over and over again to, go back and hear what I said. But when it's written word, you can scroll up, you can scroll down, you can copy and paste everything that I have written. So for me, I kind of want it to be a case study. I kind of want it to be one of those things where you read through and I'm showing you that I am trying this, that, and the other. I'm showing you that I read this book and this is what I implemented, and did it work and did it not work or whatever. So I'm giving you my life as a case study, both on audio and in the written word. I'm hoping that works, and obviously it will probably evolve from there. It will grow into a monster of some sort, which is cool, I guess. But I think it would be helpful. So with everything that's going on, obviously, one job is dwindling down. I am very, very lucky because I feel like I am a good network person. I have friends in many, many different industries. Wherever I go, I try to make friends. I've never met a stranger that I couldn't just strike up a conversation with if I didn't want to. Case in point being today, commuting to work, dropped my daughter off at school, got back on the bus to get to work, and there was an elderly gentleman who was blind on the bus. And I know I'd seen him a couple times before near where I work. So he happened to start the conversation. I was very, very glad that he did. And I had the opportunity to help him walk to the office and make sure that he was okay. So I held his hand, had a great conversation. He was telling me about his life and the things he'd accomplished and what he wanted to, what he wanted to do with his day that day, how he had been managing all this time. And it was amazing that I got, a random conversation like that. So I really do enjoy these random situations where I get to talk to people. So yeah, I have never met anyone that I couldn't talk to. I think I'm a pretty good network person. I get to talk to a lot of different people and make sure that, I have good contacts everywhere. And I happened to get a call tonight from a gentleman I met back when I was working at Taste of Tradition in the wine industry. And we used to do wine dinners and wine tastings. And Juggling Club is where he used to work. So they have an amazing, amazing facility. They have a great menu, and we've done several dinners there before. And it was really nice to hear back from him and find out how he was doing, what he was doing. And he was telling me that, hey, all of a sudden he's seeing like stuff with my name on it and a new web page. And he was like, all right, well, what's all that about? So we had a quick, 20-minute conversation about what I had going on, how everything was going, what I, intend to do with this space. And he told me about his project, which is great. So I know a little bit about his project. I feel like if he ever needed, I know a couple people in different industries. He's actually trying to break out into the music industry. He's been there before. He was, a DJ for a very long time. He is doing a lot more of the Indian music instead of mainstream rap and pop and EDM and house music and all that stuff. So he's doing more of the Indian side of it, and he's trying to start releasing singles. So the fact that I have contacts in a lot of different places, a lot of my friends are in the nightclub industry, or are doing DJ work themselves. They have their own group of DJs. Shout out to Chris Columbus and Karthik out there, doing their thing. Some of my favorite DJs. Anyway, so it was really nice. I feel like it was great to catch up with him. And because I have been approachable and am friendly enough to talk to people, I feel like I make a lot of contacts everywhere. So where was I going with this? I wanted to tell you about a question he asked me, which I thought was really relevant. I think that it would really give you a better idea of how I manage things. He asked me, all right, so if you're starting a new business and you're ending one job, you're possibly getting ready to start another, how are you going to manage? And I thought that was really, really relevant, because a lot of you out there are trying to get into that space where you can have your own thing going on. And I know I've done this before. I've tried this before. And I got to a point where I got frustrated and I just shut it all down. So what's different this time? This time I feel like I've managed to understand time a little bit better. I've learned to use the machines in my life to kind of compound the time that I have, so to speak. So if I really, really need, I can make sure that I have the slow cooker going on at the same time, the washing machine going on, and I'm sweeping and mopping. So I've compounded my time. The things that would take, a long time if I did them individually back to back would take far longer than if I, put everything together and did a little planning up front. So juggling the time right now is not so bad because I figured out how I want to use my time. When I was working on curriculum and things like that, I would be researching this, that, and the other. And as I was researching, for example, the different climate zones of the world and why certain areas are prone to rainforest type districts and desert districts and, savannas and grasslands and all that stuff. So when I was researching all of those things, you still see other things on the side. You still have, your derailment of your train of thought, so to speak. So when you look up this, you will have pop-up ads because Google is so good at matching what you've searched before that they'll put up pop-ups of other things you might be interested in. So it's not that I wasn't doing my work, I was, but there were other things that would spark my interest as I go along, and I'd write them down, or I'd save them later, or, add them to my watch later list on my YouTube channel. And I find that juggling has gotten a little bit easier. Obviously, the first time you juggle, you're like, holy shit, I'm going to lose something. Something's going to fall through the cracks. I'm not going to get it done. But as you go along, you learn how you do things best. For me, I'm better when there's like a million things to do and not enough time. Because I will make sure everything gets done. If I have a lot of time and not a lot to do, I probably won't get anything done, to be quite frank. That's who I am. I am a procrastinator. I will wait till the last minute, and I'm not saying that makes for quality work. It doesn't always, but like I said before, necessity is the mother of invention, and lazy people will find a way to get it done. Um, Obviously, we'll wish that we had a little bit more time so it could be a little bit better later, but we'll get it done. So for me, I started thinking after he asked the question, how am I going to juggle with this new job and everything? And I'm thinking, yeah, okay, let's think about that for a second. If I get a new job, when I get a new job, it'll be a 9 to 5 type deal. And it has to be because I need to make sure I drop my daughter off for daycare and pick her up from daycare at a reasonable hour where she's not spending the whole bloody time there, because then what's the point of actually being a parent? I might as well have someone else take care of her. So yeah, in the mornings, it would be too rushed for me to do anything on my business, but that doesn't mean my mind wouldn't be working. Going to work, because it would be a new position, I would have to focus all of my efforts to learning whatever the skill set is that I'm learning and trying to do the best that I can to make a good impression and make sure, excuse me, that I land the job that, I'm trying to impress people for. And then when I get back home, it would be, all right, get home maybe 6:30, 7 with the commute and everything. From there, I'd have a couple hours to spend with her, make sure we have dinner together, maybe watch a movie or do something where it's just the two of us. And then when she goes to bed is when my work would begin. So in that case, I would really have to leverage my weekends. It would have to be, most of my work would be during the weekend so that I could make sure that I don't fall behind, make sure that I don't really, overcommit to anything and then fall short, because the last thing I want is actually to disappoint you guys. The reason I actually tell you guys, hey, I'm going to do this, is because then I have to hold myself accountable. I have to do what I say I'm going to do. It's kind of like my check and balance for me. And I want to work out every day, okay? Let me give it to you this way. I want to work out every day, and I could definitely tell my brother, yo, why don't we tag team this? He's in Sydney, I'm in Singapore. He's a couple hours ahead of me. So when you wake up and you go work out or whatever, you tag me. You say, all right, day 1 tag, I've done this. Now it's your turn to show me that you've actually done a workout of some sort. And I know for a fact that he will understand if I don't complete that commitment one day, because maybe, let's say 3 days consecutively I got very little sleep and I'm exhausted. I can't even open both eyes at the same time, and I just don't make it out of bed to work out. It's not ideal. It does happen. It has happened this month already. I think he was up to day 9 and I was stuck on day 6. I had done it in between or whatever, and I was trying to catch up, but there's no way you can catch. Once you skip a day, rest days, I swear, are the devil. I can't come out from rest days. It's really hard. So where I would drop the ball with him, and I'm okay doing that, I am not okay with dropping the ball with y'all. I've actually put my word out there. My brand is about who I am, and I don't want it to be about, yeah, she talks like a game, but she doesn't actually do anything about it. I don't want that to be the case. So I try to be realistic about my goals. And if I have to change my goals, I will let you know. But for the most part, I think I've done a good job of keeping my word, keeping my honor, so to speak. It's like one of those old world ideals that, you are what you say you are. You do as you say you're going to do. You don't let people down. You don't open your mouth and say you're going to do it if you're not going to do it. So that's part of the commitment. By saying it to y'all, saying it out loud, that this is what I'm going to do, that I make sure that I'm going to do it. Seriously, like today, baby girl spiked a fever this evening. I'm not sure what for. She wasn't feeling very well, and she was feeling kind of clingy, which is so sweet, and I feel really bad. I feel like defenseless when she feels like this, so I feel like I need to cuddle her and hold her tight and make sure she's comfortable and so she can sleep. So gave her 2 Panadol, got her to rest and cool down a little bit, because that fever hit up about 99 degrees Fahrenheit. I think it was like 37.4 Celsius. And because I've been through this once before, it got really bad in April, I panicked already, and she could feel it, and she started panicking. So At about 9 something, I put her in bed because she actually asked to go to bed early, which is shocker. But I could understand poor thing wasn't feeling very well. So I got in the bed with her, and lo and behold, I fell asleep. But lucky for me, I had a feeling I was going to fall asleep, so I went ahead and set the alarm. And then my friend called and woke me up as well. Like after the alarm went off, like maybe 20 minutes, and I was trying to go back to sleep. Lucky for me, he called, and then that's when we had that conversation. So I almost didn't make it for the podcast tonight. But like I said, I made a commitment to you guys, and the universe is amazing. I know they're going to deliver. I know they're going to push me to do what I need to get done, and I'm really grateful. So I think I can juggle. I think I'm pretty good at it now. I think I can juggle whatever comes in my way going forward. And I gotta tell you, I feel like having the intent clear for yourself helps a lot. I know what I want to do. I know what I want to get done. And sometimes, yeah, you're going to push it off and be like, all right, you know what? I can't. I have to do that tomorrow. But for the most part, I think this podcast commitment is really minimal to me. Not saying that it's minimal in importance by any means. I'm saying that the time commitment is not that much. 20 minutes. And in that same vein, yes, working out would be just 20 minutes too, but it takes a little bit more effort for me. One thing at a time. I will make sure that this becomes a habit. I will make sure that, closing up my day, recapping for you so you know that I really do, I struggle. It's not always easy. I want to do the best I can. So I do the best I can at the time, and if I can do better, I will push for better, and if I can't, then I've got to be real with me and be like, you know what, okay, well, this is the best it could be right now, and you're just going to have to suck it up tomorrow and do the rest. For example, like today, I still don't have my kitchen back. They came in and they measured for the tabletop, and they're going to cut it, and they say 4 days or something like that. My mom is convinced it'll be done by Thursday, and you know what? I'm going to go with that. I'm going to put it out there Thursday. We're going to have our kitchen back Thursday. That would be amazing. But in the meantime, we're running out of food, y'all. So when I got back home tonight, I think we got back in the house at about 6:45, 7 o'clock. I was exhausted. And I'm so used to coming home and not having to cook that I'm used to just sitting as soon as I get home and relaxing for a second to try and collect my thoughts. Today I didn't have much time to do all that because I need to run out and get groceries and see what machinery I have in the house that I could actually cook with that didn't require a gas stove, that didn't require frying of any sort. So I had to pull out my slow cooker, and I'm thinking, all right, my mom only eats rice and curry. What could I possibly make in a slow cooker that she would eat? But even then, slow cooker meaning it's going to take a couple hours to cook. So I bought her dinner from outside. I brought the vegetables and the stuff that I want to cook anyway because she's also vegetarian at the moment. So tomorrow I'm going to have to, before I leave the house, I'm going to have to set up one curry to slow cook so that she'll have something to eat tomorrow at lunch. And then when I come back home, I'll have to set up another one so that we have two and we can make it to Thursday. That's the plan anyway. So I can juggle. I am quite capable, but it's not always easy. So when I do see a place where, you know what, I've pushed and pushed and I've squeezed the life out of the day, there's nothing left, but I still have like tasks to get done, I will push it to the next day. But for the most part, I make sure that I don't overcommit myself. And if I do, I will feel that panicky feeling like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And it's that panicky feeling where you can't concentrate on any one thing because the list is so big. So at that point, I need to cut down the list or whatever. So I've gotten pretty good at that. I don't see a problem with juggling whatever comes next. I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready to go ahead and see what pops up next. I actually got some good news today, but I'm not going to talk about it until tomorrow because I finish it out tomorrow. So tune in tomorrow and we'll talk about my good news. All right? So thank you so much for joining me. I do hope you understood what I was talking about. I hope I made sense tonight. But yeah, sometimes that struggle is real. I know it's so cliche to say that right now, right? But you gotta juggle. You got to figure out what's important and when, and you got to, everything has its time and place. So I think I got it down to a science a little bit we'll see in the coming days and weeks. You'll have to call me accountable and be like, nope, you were full of shit. You can't juggle. um, anyway, hit me up, comment, DM, whatever. And I'll call y'all again tomorrow. Okay? Thanks again. Bye.